Hey everybody, the Long Shot Signatures here. This is episode 179 of my TTM returns. We got in 7 successes for 15 autographs to end this week, including 3 Hall of Famers at the end of it. And you'll want to check it out. I got some really cool stuff from them. But we'll start off with a hockey return. First one here is a 1-of-1 success in 28 days from former NHL defenseman Jason Smith. He played over 1,000 games in the NHL. After getting drafted in the first round of the 1992 draft. He is currently an assistant coach for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, so that's where I sent at the beginning of the season and finally got that back signed nicely in blue on a Toronto Maple Leafs card. Then the next one is a baseball return. We got a 1-of-1 in 14 days from former MLB pitcher Tom Dries on his 1990 Upper Deck rookie card. He actually didn't play in 89 or 1990, but they made this card to commemorate the fact that he had 3 no-hitters in the minor leagues in a single season, including 2 back-to-back. One of those in the back-to-back was a 7-inning game, but still technically counts. He only played 4 games in the major leagues, though, all as a reliever, so didn't really take all of that pitching prowess to the majors. Not sure what happened to him with all that, but still nice to get a signed card for the set. Then we have some football returns. First one here is a guy I've gotten from many times before. I should be done as far as getting cards for different sets from him. This is 2-of-2 success from former NFL place kicker Eddie Murray, who always does a really good job of signing either his full name if it's typed out on the card, or he'll sometimes write Ed if the card just simply states Ed Murray. But I think it was just the 90 Fleer that I needed to get him on. Should be good for him there. He scored 1,594 career points as a kicker in the NFL. The other football return that we got today is a college football coach. He signed 3-of-2 in 10 days. These are coming back from Lafayette head coach John Troxel. So he signed both of my photos, signed them as Coach Troxel, and then he wrote a nice short note, put Coach Trox on it. It's pretty similar enough to his autograph that I'm just going to go ahead and consider that an extra one. Sometimes if they just write their name out, I don't consider it an autograph, or maybe they'll put like Coach whoever, but if they sign with their name, it's confusing. I could just count it as an extra item, maybe not. But that one came back really quickly because the first time I tried sending to him, I got a return to sender using an address that no longer worked there. Checked again very recently, and suddenly now there was a athletics department address in their staff directory, which had I seen that the first time, I would have used it. So I think that's a newer address. I don't know. But either way, really glad to add another FCS head coach to the collection. Then we're going to end off here with 3 lacrosse Hall of Fame head coaches. First one here, he's no longer a head coach, but he's still active in the college ranks. This is a 2-of-2 success coming back from Dave Petramala in 17 days. He was the longtime head coach for Johns Hopkins University, I think Cornell for a few years, but he is considered one of the greatest defensive players of all time in lacrosse. He had a bunch of recognition for that, but he is now the defensive coordinator for the Syracuse men's lacrosse team. But as a head coach, he had 7 Final Four appearances and won the Division I championship twice. He, as far as I read, is the only person to win a Division I championship both as a player and as a head coach. He was inducted into the U.S. Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2004. Just an absolutely stellar career so far, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to the head coaching ranks at some point. But for now, he's just going to take it easy. We'll call it that. Take it easy as a Syracuse defensive coordinator. Speaking of Syracuse, we'll continue on to the next return with a 3-of-2 success in 14 days from the legendary Roy Simmons Jr. So got these back really quickly. He signed both of my photos. His handwriting is getting a little shaky. He's in his 80s now. I think he's 83, maybe? Not 100% sure. So he signed both of those photos, and then he included this nice little greeting card, which he just wrote Coach Roy. I'm not counting that as the extra autograph, but it is a really nice thing for him to send. But he sent a Syracuse Lacrosse Legends Day poster of his own, where they honored 3 members of the men's and women's lacrosse team, and he signed that across the top as well. So that's a really cool addition to the return there. But Roy Simmons, listen to this head coaching resume: 17 Final Four appearances, and he's the only Division I head coach to win 6 or more titles. One of them was vacated, but I'm still going to count it because who knows. The NCAA is weird about that stuff. He was inducted into the U.S. Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 1991 as a player, but they do recognize his accomplishments as a head coach as well. Just a super accomplished. Syracuse is one of the best men's lacrosse teams, at least. His father, Roy Simmons Sr., accomplished just about the same as his son, but he's since passed away. Not going to be able to add him to the collection, but really glad to add this legend to my collection. Last one here is also a 3 of 2 success. Got this back in 17 days from Hall of Fame head coach Don Zimmerman. So he also signed both of my photos. He included a nice little thank you note or greeting card. He wrote that as Coach Zim, so I'm not going to count that as the extra autograph. I'll show that here in a minute. But he's a former head coach for Johns Hopkins and University of Maryland, Baltimore County, better known as UMBC. He had 5 Final Four appearances, 3-time Division I champion, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017. Now, I've stated, I'm trying to become, a fan of more sports and everything. I don't necessarily follow all of them, but I do kind of, like watching the games and everything, but I do try and keep track, like throughout the season, where teams are and, who's doing well and everything like that. But if I ever do want to try and understand particularly men's lacrosse better, he also sent back a book that he co-wrote with Peter England, and on the inside cover, personalized and signed that as well. And I was looking through this book, just kind of go through real quickly, but there's all kinds of stuff, diagrams, pictures, all the terminology you would ever need. And there's like 13 chapters in it of all the different stuff. So really awesome of him to include that. He didn't have to do it, but it's a really kind gesture. And I'll probably look through that book for fun. I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to be able to understand. But a really nice way to end the week. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. Best luck with your guys' collecting. Take care.